about it. I'm in business.
There were days where you almost feel like you just want to close the doors and walk away and say you can't do it anymore.
So this is our New York brochure, covering our New York TV and movie tours. The first thing that we lost was the domestic tourist, and that was sort of saved by the foreigners coming in, and then that recently changed with the dollar getting stronger.
Okay, what you're looking at here is a variation of our industrial bicycle. We're coming off the best year we've ever had, and then all of a sudden things sort of changed drastically as the economy took a downturn.
In the fall of 2008, the New York Times began following several small businesses in the New York area when many were just beginning to feel the effects of the economic crisis. By December, business slowdowns and hiring freezes, reduced hours and layoffs were some of the hard realities of keeping business alive. The Times will continue to report how these particular companies weather the recession over the coming months.
A couple of weeks prior to Thanksgiving were very bad. They were terrible. Con Ed, we just were struggling to pay the bills. Those were the worst couple of weeks.
Thank you very much. Take care, buddy.
And Thanksgiving came around, kind of pulled us out a little bit. Final turn-off notice. After I thought I had a handle on the whole Con Ed situation, I got it down to half of what we were doing in the summer. Con Ed decided to give me a bill for a large sum security deposit. They threatened to shut my electric down.
If I had that money, I'd be able to pay that. Don't make sense.
Yeah, I actually borrowed some money from family and gave them some money. Excuse me. I didn't want to fire anybody because, you know, I like all these guys. Everybody's productive, and rather than laying anybody off, we cut everybody's hours.
Hey, Di?
Well, I got my wife in here helping out. Yeah, so as we cut hours, she came in and picked up a little slack, helped out in the kitchen.
Oh, I was a stay-at-home mom with my children, you know, running the house. But now when I drop my kids off at school, I come right here, I stay until about 2 o'clock until I pick them up, and I help. I do whatever they need me to do.
You lie in bed sometimes, you know, how are you going to get through the next day and make sure everybody gets paid? That's one of the big issues. How are you going to make the mortgage payment? How are you going to make the Con Ed bill? How are you going to pay the kids' tuition? How are you going to make the car payment? Stuff that was never an issue before. Just everyday, simple things in life just, you know, trickles down to everything at home.
To your right, behind the beautiful Pulitzer Fountain, you might have noticed one of the most filmed buildings in New York City, the beautiful Plaza Hotel. I think the ladies will remember Carrie walking past the fountain, having a certain goodbye, bittersweet moment with Mr. Big.
Our holiday season is just about the biggest of the year for us, and through the first week in January is a very strong time for us. We do see that those numbers are staying strong. A lot of people are still coming to New York. They probably already planned trips to New York several months ago.
We come from France, from the southwest of France, from Toulouse. And we were here because we love Sex and the City. I saw the movie thrice.
I think there's just a lot of uncertainty out there, especially people, they're not sure if they should come to New York or travel or save their money, if their jobs are going to be there down the road.
So coming up on your right-hand side, the beautiful New York Public Library. Of course, they filmed along with...
We've really just been trying to cut costs and be smart. We've just cut some of our weekend staff, but a lot of our full-timers right now are helping out on the weekends and getting comp days during the week.
For instance, we are on Christopher Street right now.
My worst nightmare would be to cut staff. And in a sense, I think it's a good thing to downturn because it really wakes you up, makes you work harder and try to motivate your staff to work harder as well and become more aggressive during this difficult time.
This is the Worksman Newsgirl bike, a very heavy-duty cruiser bike. We were on top of the world this summer, you know, selling more bikes than we could even make, and a lot of our big customers, you have to appreciate, are related to the automotive industry. For example, General Motors, Ford, Chrysler are all long-time Worksman cycle users. their workers would get around the factory carrying their tools and supplies and equipment using our tricycles. In the last 2 months, the automotive industry and their suppliers is basically dried up to nothing. Nobody's buying anything at this point. That certainly has had a ripple effect, and it's definitely trickled down to us.
We're on the 3rd floor of our factory in our welding and fabrication department.
We actually did have to cut our factory hours fairly significantly. We've had about 4 or 5 people that we've had to lay off, and we've cut hours for other people. So yeah, it's had a pretty devastating effect on our workers and on our company.
No, it's tough. It's tough right now. Because sometimes in the wintertime, we always cut hours, but this year cut hours earlier because it's slow. And I understand that's everywhere slow. So I tell my wife, I'm just happy to be working, Some people lost their jobs.
Okay. Yeah, this was from like a month ago.
Okay, we have a lot of interest right now from businesses that are looking at ways to lower costs. So our tricycles fit nicely into that. Rather than buy a fleet of golf carts, they could use a fleet of human-powered tricycles. There's less maintenance, there's far less cost. It's just a matter of getting them to spend the money. So I think the seeds are being planted, and when the economy bounces back, I think we'll be in a pretty good position with what we make. But I don't have high hopes for this winter, because I think we're really right now getting to see what the real numbers are going to look like. So we'll just really have to see what the mood of the consumer is, come springtime.